For sure, you guys remember we rebuilt this D16zc for track use, and Ralph Tan brought us the engine because it was having oil pressure issues. It gets stuck at 30 psi. It won't increase anymore, even though he revs it all the way up there to 7,000. So when we finished the engine, we did some mods and tricks to the oiling system and hoped that it would work. And so we finished the engine. He installed it and he messaged us and said it worked. And now he booked a schedule at Dynopro for this. Yes, Dyno, let's go. Alright, before anything, here's our new page. I had to make a new one because my personal Facebook got hacked and I lost control of the old page. It's still there, but I couldn't answer the messages there. Here we got a price list of all, like head porting, engine rebuild, cam degree, and even ECU tuning and all the other stuff. So that's the basic stuff, so that this way people won't have to inquire and message, they'll get the prices there. And here we constantly put updates on the shop page of the stuff that we do, even share the projects like here in this channel, and of course all the other good stuff like there, like the parts that we get, even the reels for the members only videos. We got some stuff there. So it's just to remind everyone that we got the membership only video section here in this channel. So hey, I'll see you guys in the channel, and now let's proceed. I'll see you guys at the page, and the link will be in the description below. After this video, check it out, alright? And so if you guys watched the video about the engine that we built for Ralph Tan, the D16zc, it was meant for a track race because it was not producing higher pressure on oil. So last minute, he decided to get Fueltech valve spring and retainers, which is good because it's going to be running sustained high RPM, so that's going to be for safety. So we assembled the engine, did the few mods on the oil pump, blueprinted it, and also double checked the clearances and even the rod side play. And all of those videos are in the membership only section, so you guys got to check it out. You have to join the members. Alright, so here's the engine, is all finished. It had to run a D16Y8 pump because he was running a crank angle sensor for the Fueltech ECU. So that's all good. So here it is, all done. And so when this was done, we notified him, and his friends and his crew actually picked up the engine, the whole engine, and they installed it. So here's the whole setup now. As you can see, it's really just like a stock ZC. So it's here, it's a stock head, we didn't even touch it. Stock pistons, but it has ARB rod bolts for safety and Fueltech valve springs and retainers because it spends a lot of time at the high RPM. So that's a really good move. And the compression is 9.3:1 compression. It's not really shaved or resurfaced, it's just made sure it's flat. So maybe 0.001 was taken off just to make sure it's flat. So this is basically a stock motor, right, that everyone has. So now let's check it out. Basically what we did here is that we actually rebuilt the engine, assembled it to our own specifications, including bearing clearances from ring gaps, even rod side play. So here, now at least now we know it works. And now here we get to go to dyno. Let's go. But before that, let me correct myself. On the previous video, I did say Ralph Tan's D16zc made 135 wheel horsepower. Apparently, I found out from him that this was not a stock D16zc. It had modified PM3 pistons because it sticks out, so that it had really, really high compression, and also a slightly modded head. So that wasn't really stock, but it's 135 wheel horsepower. I wanted to correct this because now we can actually reference how it would make this time when it's truly stock, right? Okay, let's go. So a few days before scheduling on the dyno, Ralph, we were talking and he was explaining to me and sharing the updates, like the engine is running pretty decent, idle's showing good pressure, like 35 psi upwards, and then later on, a few days later, when he was cruising around or testing the car, he saw that once he reaches 6 or 7,000, he was seeing over 75 psi. So the pressure is pretty good because back then it wouldn't reach over 35 psi. So that's when he decided, okay, it's time to dyno, because on the 24th, there's a race in BRC. So we'll talk about that a little later. So here's the car on the Dynopro's facility. Here and here, this is all his legitimate sponsors. They're not just stickers. And here, Atoy Customs is actually his personal friend. He's a good friend of his, so that's worth mentioning. And look here, all the hatchback actually looks really, really good. Reminds me of an old school R32 drifting car or drifter way back. Yep, now it's gonna be strapped in soon. And wait here on the next photo, it's all strapped in and ready to go. And on his ramp mirror on the headlight, I'm actually thinking if we could do a bit of improvement on his ram air for the next time he races. But he's only finishing like I think 2 or 3 legs now before the next season. And on the next season, he has more planned for his car and engine. So you gotta better watch out for that. It's gonna be really good. So hopefully he nailed the third place this season. So yep. Okay, now let's go continue on the dyno. Let's go. Okay, the air fuel ratio was not really good at the first run, so Ralph Tan was adjusting the fueling a bit, keeping it good and straight and ready. So now it's good. Okay, now one more run. Let's go. Okay, now finally one full run, and here it showed 121 wheel horsepower. So that's pretty decent for a stock engine. So Ralph Tan did a few runs with it, and we were kept checking. We were crewing for him on the dyno, and by this time, 2 or 3 more runs with adjustments. Here it is. And so after a few more tweaks on the air fuel ratio, and of course testing out the timing with a little bit of, like, let's say 2 degrees more, 2 degrees less, and we saw the difference. And my colleague suggested maybe we should retard the cam. So because this is advanced 4 degrees, we retarded it 2 degrees. So now it's +2 on the cam gear. Because look at here, my colleagues noticed peak power is still carrying good. So that means it wants more. So let's go now. Notice the runs are longer. That's because now the rev limit is up to 8,000. Let's go. Alright, after a few checks here and there, it looks like my colleague nailed it. Look, it's 126.30 wheel horsepower, so that jumped really good. But notice also the rev limit is higher. So now we keep going because the air fuel is good and timing. And after a few more runs, we actually pulled it back 2 more degrees. So now it's back to 0 degrees on the cam gear. And here we did last few runs is here. A few more tweaks on the tune, and then one more. Let's go. So here it is, 131 wheel horsepower. And it's at this point I realized, well, Ralph Tan told us the 135 had PM3 modified pistons, so that was high compression. So 131 is actually quite impressive because this is bone stock with just P28 stock ZC pistons. That's not bad, right? I mean, 131.25 wheel horsepower, that's really awesome. And good job for him tuning this. So hopefully this shows other people that if you have a stock engine like a ZC and maybe with just a Skunk 2 intake, this would be a power that you can definitely achieve. Now here it is. Now it's getting ready to be strapped off, and by looking at this, the ram air, I already know certain improvements that we can do. So we'll check on that on the next few races or maybe next season, right? So yes, look at this. The car is looking really good. It actually looks really great and really cool. And here it is. Here's the event that he runs in. It's a sanctioned race sponsored by Petron. It's Bracket and Grid Racing Championships. So that's really cool. You guys support him, guys. Check it out. And if any of you guys are wondering why I keep saying his full name, that's because we're both Ralph. And if I don't say his surname, it looks like I'm talking about myself. I mean, you guys know what I mean, right? So let's support him on his race events. So we gotta check it out.